what is supposed to be done.
You think you'll be able to make a difference?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jeff, absolutely. I mean, you asked me earlier whether I think I am the real deal. I mean, absolutely. Look no further. Because you see, I keep saying every day, people tell me that running government is very difficult and so on. It's not. And we, more than anyone else, by the way, in Kenya, should not talk like that. Because when a candidate is incredibly endowed with well-trained, skilled human resource, Kenyans who love their country, very patriotic and want to serve their country, very hard-working people. We have had a very established tradition of government for a very long time. What this country needs is trustworthy leadership, effective managers, and committed people. And the focus, for example, as I keep saying, the focus for us and the focus for me, if I got the opportunity, is to restore the trust of the people in government, so that the government can be believed again.
Dr.
You believe government yourself when they tell you the things they tell you.
Dr. you spoke about G2G a moment ago.
Yeah.
And there's some critics who call it government to gangsters.
That's true. It's government to gangsters. In fact, sometimes I call it G2R, government to Ruto. It had nothing to do with the government. It's a G2R. It's a government to Ruto or government to P. G to P. It can't be G to G because G to G must be Aramco and the other companies involved on the other side are government. But on this side, Gov Energy is not government. And all these other private sector players who are involved, Starbucks and so on, are not government. So honestly, it doesn't qualify to be government. But anyway, go ahead with your gangster question.
Why didn't they involve NOC or KPC if it's government to government?
Jeff, you have your answer. That's what we keep asking every day. Because, NOC exists by statute and it was established to do exactly that. And over the years, NOC has done this. When we worked on our G2G arrangement in the first when we were in government, we worked with NOC. I don't understand. I cannot understand for the life of me. And that's why we conclude that it's so obvious and apparent that this was being done because it's intended to benefit individuals and cartels in government. And if they think we are wrong, why can't they publish the details? We keep asking that. Why can't they publish the details? And you see, this unaccountable way of life or unaccountable way of managing the country is what is causing the challenges that you have seen since 25th June 2024 with the Gen Z. On that particular day, Kenya's younger population literally wrote what you describe as a manifesto for modern Kenya. A much more accountable government, a meritocratic focus on public service delivery, and public service work, and responsible behavior on the part of those in authority or those who are given responsibilities. That is what is lacking. Things happen here and they are always swept under the carpet. When you raise questions about this, when anybody raises questions about it, it is shrouded and covered in public relations, propaganda, and lies at best. But in most cases, you will see politicians allied to the administration engaged in insults and so on as a way of responding to this. So I agree with my colleague Rigathi Gachagua, and I agree with the Kenyans who feel that if the government is not going to be more accountable, they have to be forced to be accountable.
But if you were president, how would you cushion